How's it going, everyone? Our last speech number 4, we have the choice of either a informative or persuasive speech. I decided to do informative. For my last speech, I decided to speak on one of the best players in NBA history. His name is Larry Bird. Larry Bird was born in West Baden, Indiana, which was a little bit outside the little town of French Lick. It's kind of a weird name, but that's where he's from. He was born there December 7th, 1956. He had a really rough childhood. He didn't have a lot of money, didn't really have much at all. And to make things worse, when he was about 17, his father committed suicide, which was about 1975, so he's about 19 years old. They say his father suffered from alcoholism, and he was in the Korean War, which probably had something to do with it. It was a very tough time. So even before that, Bird was going to Spring Valley High School. He became one of the high school's all-time leading scorers by the time he was a sophomore. So by the time he was a sophomore, he was already very good at what he was doing. He's one of the best basketball players in Indiana history. So in 1976, he graduated from high school. Actually, 1975, he graduated from high school, and he enrolled in Indiana University. He did not stay long at Indiana because he's from a small town, and he did not like the college. It was just too big. Indiana University is in Bloomington, which I've never been to Indiana, but my friend has. I mean, he said it's pretty big. So he left after 24 days, and he enrolled in Indiana State University, which is in Terre Haute, Indiana. He became Indiana State's all-time leading scorer, and he was only there for 3 years, so it didn't take him much time at all. Before he got to Indiana State, the team has never reached the NCAA tournament, and by the time he was a senior, he led them to the championship game. He led them to the championship game in 1979 against Magic Johnson, who was another famous basketball player. It was Indiana State versus Michigan State. Indiana State eventually lost to Michigan State, and Indiana State finished 33-1 on that year. The following year, Bird was drafted by the Boston Celtics in 1979. The year before he went to Boston, they were terrible, as they were just bad. And then after that, after Bird signed, the Celtics went 61-21. Bird's first NBA championship came in 1981 against the Houston Rockets. That was his first of 3. Then during the mid-1980s, they won again in 1984. They won again in 85. Bird won 3 straight MVP awards in the mid-80s, a feat that's only been accomplished by a few other players. In 1987, which was my date of birth, by the way, Boston lost to Magic Johnson's Los Angeles Lakers. That was Bird's last NBA Finals appearance. After 1987, the Celtics were still very good, very, very good. But Bird was getting a little older. He's only in his 30s, which is pretty young, but every game he would just hustle, and he would move, and he would go pretty fast, and he didn't care what happened to his body. And he would just dive all over the floor to get balls, and eventually his back started to give out, his legs. So from 88 to 92, 92 being his last season, he didn't play a full season again because he just couldn't take it. In 1988, 89, he only played in 6 games. He had to have his heels both surgically repaired. 90, 91, his back just gave out, and he only played 30-something games, 37 games out of 82. And then in 1992, the Celtics, again, still very, very good, a great team, lost in the playoffs. And as bad as Bird was feeling, he was playing really, really at a high level. but the Celtics, who had an older roster, just couldn't keep up with these younger teams. In 1992, Larry Bird played for the Olympic team, the USA. They called that the Dream Team because so many Hall of Famers are on that team. Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Isaiah Thomas, John Stockton, Karl Malone, Magic Johnson, Reggie Miller, just all these players that are synonymous with NBA basketball now. And he played on that team. And following that, he retired. He retired as a Boston Celtic in 1993. And now he is the president of the Indiana Pacers basketball organization, where he continues to hold that post. Well, thanks for listening to me. It's been a great time speaking to you, these 4 speeches, and good luck to you all.